Are you ready to find peace in your heart? Of course you do. I'm Coach Easy, and welcome to the It's EaZy Show. As an empowered empath, empowering mindsets, and confidence through adversity, I will help you connect and conquer. Listen in as we talk real about serious concerns in the world and learn how by working together we can make life amazing. You are the ultimate number one in your life, and that's why you can be whoever you want and do whatever you want without worrying what anyone else thinks. Why? Because it's easy with me, Coach Easy. I believe there is a path to an easier way, and having God in your life is the key. On this show, laughter is a promise, and music is the spiritual language. Because it's easy. Starts now. Well, hello, everybody. It's Coach Easy with the Because It's Easy Show. Hope everybody had a good weekend, and I don't know how many people are surviving the heat, but we're finally having a break. It's been really, really hot. So if you don't know me, if you're new here, I'm the guy to empower you. But we talk about a lot of things. And today we're going to discuss a little bit more of what we were discussing last week. I believe faith, along with courage, and along with critical thinking and positivity, give you no reason not to be able to accomplish anything you want. And those aren't the only things, but those are some of the main things to start with. Courage comes, I think, a little bit from faith. If anybody's experienced any of the spirituality, the Great Awakening, all that stuff, I've got a whole new bunch of courage. I feel like I was touched by something after my mom passed away. I won't get too crazy with you about it, but it's definitely a personal feeling, but it's a thing that a lot of people in the country, I think, are experiencing maybe. But I won't, we've talked about that several times, but positivity is huge because I used to be a negative person. You can't be negative. And it's so hard in this world, in this life, to not get negative sometimes because negativity seems to be the norm anymore. Because we've been sitting on, and people that know this, I'm not going to claim to know a lot about this. If you know anything about frequencies, one thing I do know is we've been stuck in Satan frequency for a long time. And that brings negativity, unless you can be stronger enough to keep positive. But I've had a lot of things go against me. I ain't gonna lie. So is a lot of people. I'm not trying to make myself play the victim or anything, but it was easy to get negative. And one thing I've learned is staying positive has changed my life. And that's something, whatever you got to do is stay positive and then do it. Also, here's things that I think people don't take these serious enough. You listen to me, the 3 L's. So laughter is huge. Loyalty, love. I don't know why those three, loyalty comes along with love, but you got to have laugh. You got to have laughter in your life, because without laughter, life would be pretty boring. I believe that it's something we need. It's good for the soul. Really, I believe it. Find ways to laugh. Watch funny things. Do funny things. Be silly. Don't be so serious about everything. Who cares if somebody thinks you're too young or too old to be watching cartoons? Even I don't care what you watch, but find ways to make yourself laugh. That'll go a long ways with your overall feeling of health. I promise you that. And don't be so serious. I mean, just you got to be serious for certain things, but life is so screwed up. All you can do is laugh about it. Here's something I wanted to explain. I never got to go through this, but this, if you guys have ever heard of, obviously we've talked about this 10 Commandments, we talked about 7 deadly sins. How about words of affirmation? Anybody know what those are? See, I should be talking to people right now. I wish you could answer. So, kindness. I can't always be kind sometimes. When you set boundaries, like I am, empowering yourself,
as we've discussed, you have to set boundaries because you don't want to be you don't want to be walked on. I let my insecurities let people walk all over me because I wanted everybody to like me. I do everything I can to make people like me. And that's including kissing ass. You don't have to do that. You just have to know you're good. But one thing you have to do is set boundaries. And if that means pissing people off, sometimes that's the way it is. Jordan Peterson's one of my favorite people to listen to. And he said it. You're going to piss people off unless you don't have an opinion on something. If you're going to have an opinion, you might piss people off. And that's where the society has gotten so sensitive anymore. We can't say anything without making somebody angry. Well, if you're not deliberate about it, then who cares, right? But one of the things is setting boundaries. My things for me, my integrity, that's my boundaries. Don't cross those, and we don't have a problem, but people should not judge you and condemn you for something that they have no idea. I mean, like questioning if I'm lying or questioning if I'm trying to mislead somebody. That's something I don't do. I'm very real, as real as it gets. So when someone questions my integrity, that's kind of that bothers me. I'm sorry, it just does. But everybody has there's certain things they don't tolerate, but you have to stick to them. But doesn't mean you have to fight everybody. You may even let someone slide once in a while, but if you don't keep those boundaries, people will walk all over you, and that's not empowering yourself. That's quite the opposite. But it's okay to be kind. It's okay to respect people because those are things you should do anyway. I know when I was young, I was always made sure I respect the older dude. Now that I'm the older dude, I don't see that so much. I don't think many people respect people in general. It's part of this society that's going to hell in a handbasket. So I'm also not just to empower people. I'm also trying to spread joy. And I got honest with you, I've had a rough time of it lately, but my rough time should not have to be affected. You guys should not have to feel the effects of that. It's easy to be kind, guys. It's a lot harder to be angry and be a jackass to people. Just a fact. Here's something I want to tell you. My mom passed away 3 years ago. I'm not getting into all that, but one thing she said to me one day is, nobody calls me. Nobody just calls to say hey. And I was over there a couple times a week, usually doing stuff, so I was guilty of it. Maybe even a couple times a week would be nice, even every day. You should call your mom every day, maybe, unless you don't want to. But she was elderly, she was alone. Anybody you know that lives alone, I promise you they don't lead on to it, but I'll bet you they're pretty lonely. Unless they're young and they're still having fun and partying and going out, they're probably not home much. But for anybody that's older, that doesn't go out and do much, I promise you they're lonely. Just like to hear, especially kids, man, check in on your parents. They probably really appreciate that on occasion because we forget about people too much with our busy lives and our busy worlds. Trying to fit in at work or trying to make a quota at work or trying to make it to a band to go watch some music or something. It's easy to forget about people that are important in your life. It really is. And I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, I'm so busy. I promise you, if you got enough time to go to the bathroom, you got enough time to make a call. You got even more time to send a text. Just letting people know that you're thinking about them. That'll make a big difference in people's lives. I really believe that. Sometimes people just feel forgotten, feel like they're not needed. And I'm going to go ahead and just, for my own sake, another thing I learned, I'm promoting Jordan Peterson. Males, fathers especially, we almost need our family more when they're grown and out of the house than when they were young, because we had a purpose when they were young. We were working, and I worked 2 jobs. We were providing for our families. And when they get old and move out and they're on their own and you're not providing for them anymore, you kind of lose track of what your purpose is. And I don't know if anybody else feels that way. That's a empty nester, especially the men, because that's all men. What we're built to do is protect and provide for our families. That's kind of what the gist of it is. And when we don't have that, don't need that to do that anymore, we're pretty much lost, I would say. Maybe not everybody, but I can bet you most people feel that way. Unless you're still married, you still got your wife or your husband. But if you're an empty nester and you don't have somebody, time can get pretty lonely. I've spoke to many people about it. And that's why I get so frustrated, because people want to play victim and want to nitpick about this and that, and what they're not getting. You're not alone. I think everybody has feelings of loneliness or oppression, or that nobody cares about them. And it don't take much to show somebody you care. Really don't. Quick text saying I love you, or a quick text saying hi. Let people know you're at least thinking of them. So I got off track a little bit on that, but I know that men get a raw deal in this world in these things sometimes. I don't know, for whatever reason, moms get a little more credit when they're, especially with the kids, and rightfully so. Women do an amazing job. I mean, most women are amazing mothers, but I think of fathers not seen as important. And I think that could be no farther from the truth than I think fathers play a huge part, and it's a big deal. Without fathers, we would have no men. We'd have no men building buildings and fighting wars and everything else. We got to, don't forget about the men. I'm sorry, I am tooting my horn a little bit. I think we're more important than we get credit for. And I give all the credit in the world to moms. Moms are great. You ain't never gonna hear me complain about that, but show some love to the fathers out there. So get back on track here. Kindness is huge. It cures envy, places the desire to help others above the need of superseding them. Like, we don't have to try to be better than everybody else. It's okay to be humble. I'm very humble. I'm never going to be better than everybody, but I always just strive to be the best I can. That's all you can do. Temperance cures gluttony, keeps you from getting gluttony by implementing desire to be a healthy, therefore making one fit to serve others. I don't know about you, but I've always been that person. I'd almost rather help people than ask for help. Like, I don't really want people to help me because I don't feel like they want to, really. So to be honest with you, charity or love cures greed by putting the desire to help others above storing up treasure for oneself. We're going to come back and finish this list and talk a little bit more about it. Right now, we're going to go to a little break. Well, we're back. Because It's Easy Show. Coach Easy. That'd be me. In case anybody wonders, my name's Eric. Nickname came from people at work start calling me Easy. And I've coached youth sports a lot, so it's called Coach a lot. So the two combined, Coach Easy. And don't mistake that for Coach Cheesy. A lot of people say, not funny. I don't really like it. No. So let's get back to where we were at. So we ended off with charity. So chastity or self-control equals cures lust by controlling passion and leveraging that energy for the good of others. I know we've all been guilty of that. I mean, I think maybe not lust, but definitely passion. If we focused our energy more on being kind to people and doing things for people, even slightest little things like opening a door for somebody or whatever the case may be, think about that. If everybody did that, there's a lot of people that don't do that. I'm even guilty of maybe forgetting or not seeing it. That's what awareness is. We've talked about that before. Awareness is just knowing what's going on around you. That doesn't mean, it's awareness. It's like you can feel it, that's a good energy there, because that's what we're all made of. You should feel it. Humility cures pride by removing one's ego and boastfulness, therefore allowing the attitude of service. I get caught up with this sometimes because you know how we have sometimes like pride in our schools, which I think it's okay. That's just you just got to kind of keep it on a good level. But when it becomes about ourselves and not about the team or the school, that's when it becomes a problem, because it's not about that. It's about us. Like, we want to be able to brag, and it's about us being able to brag. That's all that is. I mean, it's just, we have to kind of keep it under control, but there's nothing wrong with having some pride in your school or pride in your kids, something, but don't let it get over crazy. And that's a problem. Where you're fighting that's the other kid's mom. My daughter's better than your daughter. That's not. Diligence or zeal equals cure. It's a cures slothfulness. You've heard of that sloth. You ever seen a sloth? Ooh, they're slow. By placing the best interest of others above the life of ease and relaxation. So here's an example. So put it this way: you got your criminals. They want to do it the easy way. They don't want to do nothing, but they just might want to go rob a bank real quick, rob a gas station, whatever you want to call it, or drug dealers or whoever else just want to get that quick money. That's very much not good. If you have everybody's best interest, for one, you're not going to rob anybody. For two, you're not going to do anything illegal. Because if you do something illegal, you're hurting somebody. Why would you want to do that? So that's that. Being a sloth, you don't want to be a sloth. Patience. Here's wrath. And boy, have I learned this. I've learned this a lot over the last few years. Patience. And I still don't have it. Let's just be honest. I work at it all the time. I'm not on a bad level, though. It's not like I need, it's not about stuff I want. It's people more or less. Like, I have problems waiting on people sometimes. Sometimes people are slow. But also, these days, I'm so patient. I get told I'm slow sometimes. Wow, you can't have it both ways. But I need to slow down or I need to speed up. But I need to find the middle, because it's easy. It really is. I make it harder on myself. I think I may have a little bit of ADHD, but I've just never pursued it because, for one, I don't really care to take anything for it. But I'm learning about natural stuff. I think people should start learning more about natural stuff. A lot of natural things out there for us that are good. You can avoid prescription pills. They're not going to like hearing that. I don't really care. Because here I am right now. I'm going to be honest, just straight up. I really do care about people. I care very much about people. I don't even know where that comes from. Can I be cocky? Can I be selfish? I think I can. I mean, I have been. I think everybody can to a point. I used to get accused of being cocky when I was younger. I probably look cocky right now. I guess it's a look on my face, what people say. And can I be cocky? Yeah, I played sports, but I was never cocky unless the other team was first. Doesn't mean it was okay. But, and I wouldn't even call myself confident until, I mean, I'm nowadays, but I wasn't. But I guess maybe the look on my face, I was told that I looked cocky. I couldn't be farther from cocky. My own friends would tell me too. They used to always say, "You're a good dude, man. You're a good dude." I'm like, I wish other people thought that, because I would get accused of being cocky or whatever. And yet here I was, the one that was a peacemaker all the time. I hated watching people get in fights. I was always trying to break them up, stop people. And if people I knew were fighting each other, like, or just even having a fight off scene, they just weren't talking to each other, guess who's the one trying to get them back together? That would be me. I just want people to get along. I want people to be happy. I want people to thrive in the life. Even if I'm struggling, I'm rooting on the next guy, right? You know, I think part of that comes from being humble. I think everybody could use a little humbling, because I told people this. I think, and I don't want this to happen, but I think if everybody could either lose everything they own or just like lose everything, completely be down on their luck, or almost die. Those are a couple things that would humble the shit out of you, right? And make you appreciate life a little bit. I think people can appreciate life a lot more than they do. I think we're in a world of trying to one up people. Everybody wants to always want to do better than the other guy. And there's nothing wrong with that to a point. But if that's what you live by, what you have and what you look like, or what kind of car you drive, you probably should fix that, because that's going to be a really long life. Staying humble and kind, man. Tim McGraw's song, that song can be more perfect. Entitlement. We got to stop. We got to lose the entitlement, people. Everybody doesn't owe you something. I tell you that. Gen X, we give a lot of shit to the younger people, but they like to give it right back to us because they think we're out of touch. But not having a cell phone was a big deal when I was. I mean, it affects me now. I'm glad I didn't have one, but we're about in. The show's over now, but I want everybody to come join me because we're going to start making this a lot bigger, and I want to start talking to you guys and getting some invoice or inputs on your thoughts live. That would be fun. So join me next time on the Cuz It's EaZy show with Coach EaZy.
You have been listening to the Cuz It's EaZy show with me, Coach EaZy. Empowered empath, empowering mindsets, and building confidence through adversities. Tune in every Tuesday at 3:30 Pacific, 5:30 Central Time on TransformationTalkRadio.com, where I, Coach EaZy, will show you the easy way to make your life simple, abundant, and amazing. No matter what you have experienced in your life, you can feel positive, confident, learn to laugh, and have fun again. For more information on the Cuz It's EaZy approach, visit CuzIt'sEaZy.com. Cuz, C-U-Z, It's EaZy, EaZy.com.